Hey, Geeks and Toy fans, this is Hunter Knight. I usually never go live on this, but today is a sad occasion, and it's a sad occasion for all comic book fans worldwide. The legend Stan Lee has passed away at 95 years old. It's I don't know. I don't feel like I'm ready. Nobody's ready. Stan Lee meant a lot for comic book fans. I mean, my entire career as making, I make a living making action figures, and uh, what can I say? I mean, none of this would be possible. None of this would be possible if it hadn't been for minds like Stan Lee. I mean, and of course many others, but Stan Lee held a special place in the hearts of many fans. I mean, because he was like the OG. He was always there with the fans. He was always interacting he was always was present. I'm from Peru. I came here like 19 years ago. But even then, I knew who Stan Lee was. He was a larger than life person. Here's what we know so far. He was rushed to Cedar's Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California, and after an emergency of it hasn't been specified yet what kind of emergency it was, and but he sadly passed away there. He is survived by his by John Celia Lee, also known as JC, I think, and Zhang Li. As you know, his wife passed last year, Zhang Li. But I mean, what can you say about Stan Lee? The characters he created, they were larger than life. They were but the thing with Marvel characters and why they were so relatable to many of us is because they were superheroes, yes, but they were flawed. They had problems like any of us. I mean, you see Spider-Man. He's a teenager with problems. Money. He was always broke. Who hasn't been broke? Hulk. He transforms into a big hulking mess, and he's Dr. Vanny, a puny scientific, and he has this problem dealing with both things. His characters, man. I mean, personally, I had the privilege of sharing the same room at San Diego Comic Con. I believe it was 2015. I was covering a Matty Collector panel, and they surprised us with Stan over there. I mean, he appeared out of nowhere. I was sitting right next to the door where he popped. He popped. I was like, "Oh man!" And he was there. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Yeah, he was such a star when everybody was like losing it when we saw Stan there. It's an incredible loss. It feels as if a relative has left, has died, because if you guys could believe how it felt, how that room lit up when he walked in, everybody clapped, everybody was like losing their minds. It was such a moment, and I never thought I would see him so close, sharing the same room with such a legend. And of course, he didn't do all his characters alone. He collaborated with many other artists like Jack Kirby. I mean, Ditko, who also passed in July. But it's just an incredible loss. The fandom, as I said in my other posts on Facebook, the fandom's not ready to lose him, to feel like to lose such an iconic character. And this video is just something I felt like I had to do because I owe a lot to Stan Lee, to Marvel Comics, to all of the comics. I mean, I owe a lot to Masters of the Universe, to the DC Comics, and but the characters he created, they allow me to work in this world of making action figures for you guys, to show my work it would not be possible if it hadn't been for someone like Stan Lee. And I'm really, it's such a terrible loss. It's such a terrible loss. But I mean, some of us might have felt like it was coming. I don't know. He was 95 years old, and he had, problems. We saw he had problems, health problems, and all that. We all, I mean, I thought I was ready, but when the news hit, I was I left everything I was doing. I was doing my regular posts on Geek Entertainment Network, and I had to drop everything because it's sad. I don't know. I mean, many a lot of people are gonna pay tributes, homages, and all that, but I just wanted to just pour my, and I mean, if you guys know me, I'm not one of those who goes out on YouTube and pours his feelings, but for Stan Lee, I'll do anything. You know, he's such an inspiration. He revolutionized the Marvel, like the comic books. He if you guys know some, I mean, I like to read a lot of story about this, and he was like he created the Marvel method of doing comic books, which was he'll block a story with a writer, and then they'll talk about it, then the artist will draw the whole comic book, and he'll fill in the little balloons with dialogue. That was the Marvel method of doing things. He went against the comic code. He was a rebel. He went against the Comic Codes Authority, publishing a story, a Spider-Man story about drugs, and the Comic Book Authority would not let him. And he was like, let's publish it without the freaking seal, and boom, that's it. The Comic Book Code changed. He was also a veteran. He went to the, he fought in Second World War II. I mean, he was working at the Department of Communication. I mean, he didn't actually went and shot anyone, but most artists in those days, they were not all words. They went and enlisted and went to in their capacities and fought, on Second World War. He was I believe he was doing the little he worked in the communications department of in during the war years. And it's such a loss for all for all comic book fans. But that's it, guys. I just wanted to, I don't want to keep it long because I know many people have other things to do, but Stan Lee has passed away. We'll always remember him, and I guess the best way we can pay homage to him is to go and get some comics, read some comics, celebrate his legacy, celebrate his what he taught us, with everything. Let's just do something today. Let's go out and read, and I'll finish this live stream with just saying in his words, Excelsior. Thank you for watching.